Good morning. Today we have a pretty silly video that is just continuing talking about propaganda or popular messages in the language learning community. Last video I got a lot of negative comments about using the term propaganda improperly, but it's an internet trend. I'm aware that propaganda is actually very serious and present in our world and throughout history. But these are just, popular messages. This time, most of them are propaganda that I have fallen for and may or may not still kind of buy into, so we will see. So the first one is that Spanish is an easy language to learn. And this is one that I still obviously understand that if you are a native English speaker, let alone a native speaker of another Romance language, Spanish is going to be significantly more straightforward of a transition than learning something like, Japanese or Korean or Turkish or Arabic. So in that sense, it is obviously easier. And I also understand that there's the argument about interest, that the easiest language to learn is the one that you are interested in, the one you're obsessed with. But the most important thing here, I got sidetracked, but the most important thing is that there is no actually super easy language to learn. Like, I really thought that I would be able to just in a couple years kind of knock out learning Spanish and then be able to move on to other languages easy peasy, but it definitely was not the path that I thought it was going to be. And obviously for anyone who's actually learned another language before, that's obvious, but for me it was something of a learning experience, that there are no languages that are just gonna really easily pop into your mind within a short span of time. Minor exceptions, like if you already speak Spanish, Portuguese, it's not gonna be super difficult, and vice versa. Maybe they're like Dutch and Afrikaans, I don't know, but for the vast majority of language pairs on the planet, this is not gonna happen. The next one is immersion only or comprehensible input, but really I didn't do comprehensible input, I did immersion learning. So believing that you just easily absorb all of the grammar that you need to know, that you will be able to basically spontaneously just be able to start speaking, all of that stuff I did pretty much buy into. I wasn't a die-hard cult member, but I definitely did think that it would give me more of the results that I wanted than it actually did. Don't get me wrong, very happy with my journey. I don't regret anything necessarily because I learned so much from it all. And I did truly enjoy it, but I think there were a lot of aches and pains along the way that I didn't necessarily have to have. And I have talked about this in a video before about that I won't learn languages through purely immersion in the future, but definitely still dominantly immersion, because I do still overall mostly agree with this. I think immersion is absolutely the most important aspect of learning. I think reading and listening to massive amounts of the target language are absolutely the two most important things that you can do. Okay, this one is a silly one, but low-key I have strong feelings about it. Changing your phone language. So this is something that I heard a lot when I, first started learning a language. And now I always hear it as something that people are people always say to do this, but I don't think it works. I do. Obviously, it's not going to completely revolutionize your learning, but I really think it helps. And not because of the phone itself. Yes, I understand that in general, you're not learning huge amounts from the interface of your phone. There are probably specific words, upload, download, update, all of those kind of things that you will learn that are useful, but most of the time you're doing everything from memory, so it's not a huge tool. But if you change your phone language, then every app that's available in your target language will convert to that language, and that is actually useful. And on iPhones, I'm sure it's the same on Android, but I don't have one. You can change the language of each app individually. So even if you don't want to change your phone, which I think is better, but still, even if you don't want to change your phone, you can change specific apps. And also that can be helpful if you want to change your phone, but you don't necessarily want every app to change. For a long time, actually, it might still be in English. I had Google Maps in English because I didn't want to be driving somewhere and have it say something that I didn't understand. If you want your bank link app to be in your native language or something like that. But yeah, I honestly think that this helps a lot. It can be a decent amount of new content that you're interacting with on a daily basis. And then this is another obvious one, but take advantage of dead time. This is another thing that I heard so much when I first started, and now I feel like there's maybe a little bit of pushback on, because people went too far with it like they always do and started implying that everyone has huge amounts of time that they just need to tap into. There would be people saying, I have kids, I get up and then I have to get the kids ready for school, and then I blah, 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 all these things. And people would be like, you're telling me that you don't have 20 minutes while you're brushing your teeth and getting ready or whatever that you can do this? And it's like, no, some people literally don't. But I do still think if it is something that you do have, this is super, super useful. And I'm not saying you have to maximize every single moment of your day, but if you like to listen to things while you get ready, if you like to watch something while you eat, I know that's, technically bad or whatever, but if you have a commute, if you have any time that you're normally just either entertaining yourself or not doing anything, those are fantastic opportunities. If you took out all of the time that I've ever commuted while listening to Spanish out of my Spanish learning time, I think it would cut it in half, maybe take out a third of it. And the last one is a propaganda that I want to fall for, but have never been able to. And that is flashcards, mining sentences, doing all of that kind of stuff. I have always been so drawn to this idea of doing that. But then the fact of the matter is that I've always actually hated doing flashcards. So I like the idea of making the flashcards, but not actually doing them. And so I am interested in potentially trying this for German, and then down the road, if I learn a language with characters, I think I will definitely want to do it for that. But I am nervous about my ability to actually follow through on the flashcard portion, because the closest that I've ever gotten is doing Clothesmaster, and even that I have never kept up with. I always do it for maybe a couple weeks at most, and then I fall off of doing it. But maybe if I actually made the flashcards and they were fun, they were from shows and stuff, maybe I would be more interested. I don't know. So that one, the jury is still out on. If you are a flashcard hater convert who ended up actually loving it, or really, really tried and still couldn't get into it, let me know. But yeah, this was just a fun little discussion chat of things that I was thinking about that I actually have, to some extent, kind of bought into in the language learning sphere. And so yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one.